Business owners qualify for more tax benefits than employees. I've said this 1,000 times on my channel, but a lot of people ask me, Karlton, how do I even start a business? So today, I'm gonna do an epic deep dive in exactly that. I'm about to break down 17 steps covering everything you need to create and scale a company into a wealth building machine. So without further ado, let's dive in. I guess it's time to talk about the limitations of being an employee. You see, being an employee is comfortable and predictable, but the safety comes at a cost. Your income is capped and tax deductions are limited, aren't they? Business ownership changes the game. Your earning potential can expand, your tax options can increase, and your time can start working for you instead of the opposite. You see, business owners can deduct expenses like office space, equipment, travel, marketing, even their food, while also gaining access to wealth building opportunities employees rarely have. So how do you actually become an entrepreneur without sacrificing your fulfillment? Figure out on your end what your end goal is for your business. Before you even think about starting a business, ask yourself, what am I building this for? You see, if your goal is to create passive income, generate 6 figures in profit, achieve complete lifestyle freedom, or perhaps just create a business that can be sold in a few years for a massive payout, knowing your end goal will guide every decision you make along the way, from the type of business you start to the way you structure it financially. And without a clear vision, you risk starting a business that doesn't align with your priorities or values. And let's be honest, chasing random ideas rarely leads to sustainable success. Step number 2, identify your current skills, and they better be high value skills. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take inventory of what you already bring to the table. Are you great at sales? If you're not, don't write that down. Are you great at writing, marketing, tech? Do you have experience managing teams, designing products, or analyzing data? Your current skill set will determine what type of business is realistic and achievable for you. This step isn't about limiting yourself. It's just about leveraging what you already know so you can hit the ground running. The closer your business is to your strengths, the faster you can scale and the lower your learning curve will be. Step number 3, choose a business that matches your end goals and your skill set. This is a crucial step that many aspiring entrepreneurs overlook. Choosing the right business is only half the battle. Your choice should meet 3 criteria. 1, it has to align with your end goals. 2, it better leverage your current skill set. 3, it better solve a problem that fulfills a demand in the marketplace. Don't rush these steps. Spending time here will save you months or even years of trial and error. A well-chosen business sets you up for growth. It'll set you up for sustainability and ultimately what you want, which is financial freedom. Before we move on, if you make at least multiple 6 figures and your tax strategy has not evolved, your income is being subject to overtaxation, there's a good chance you are overpaying, and my company, Tax Alchemy, would love to work with you to do something about it. We work with high-income earners just like you to implement sophisticated IRS-compliant tax strategies that can legally reduce your tax bill by 50, 80, even 100% if you follow the rules correctly. If you want to find out what that could look like for you, click the link in the description below. We'd be more than happy to schedule a call with you to go over the options that you have available. Now back to this video. Step number 4, acquire any necessary resources or additional skills required. Even if your current skill set is strong, every business requires some level of learning. Maybe you need a course on digital marketing or graphic design or accounting, whatever it is, you need it. Perhaps it's equipment, perhaps it's software, subscriptions, or access to a mentor. Investing in the right tools and knowledge up front is far cheaper than learning the hard way through costly mistakes. Think of this step as like a building your foundation step. The stronger the foundation is, the larger your business can grow. For example, when I was setting up my business, Tax Alchemy, my primary skills were sales and tax strategy. However, I also knew that I was going to need skills around using video equipment and setting up and running YouTube channels. And so I partnered with people over time that were able to get me those skills. And in return, I scaled a lot faster than other people. Step number 5, conduct market research. This is the boring part, I'll be honest with you, but market research it's not an option. Okay, you need to understand your customers, you have to understand what your competitors are doing, and you need market trends before you invest time and money. Ask yourself questions like this: who is my ideal customer? What problems are they facing that my business can solve? What are my competitors doing to solve the problem? And where are they overlooking opportunities that I can step into? You see, tools like surveys, social media analytics, Google Trends, which worked well for me, these are tools that can give you a better picture. The better your market research, the smarter your business decisions will be, and the faster you will get to profitability. Step number 6, design a business plan. Now, a business plan is your blueprint. It outlines your goals, strategies, your target market, your financial projections, and your operational processes. Don't overcomplicate it, but also do take it seriously. It's your roadmap for turning an idea into a scalable business. Now, please include marketing strategies, include potential challenges, include contingency plans to anticipate obstacles before they arise. Get feedback from mentors or fellow entrepreneurs whenever possible. Their insights can help you avoid costly mistakes, refine your approach, and identify blind spots. Step number 7, my favorite, setting up the LLC. One of the first legal steps to protecting yourself and your assets is forming an LLC. It's a limited liability company. Don't overcomplicate it. This is going to separate your personal and business finances, reducing personal liability and providing credibility with clients and vendors. It also just makes it easier to open up a business bank account, to apply for a business credit card, and manage taxes more efficiently. Additionally, consider drafting an operating agreement to clearly define ownership, responsibilities, and profit sharing. Taking these steps early sets the foundation for legal protection and long-term business growth. If you need help learning how to set up an LLC, you can check out this video right here. All right, step number 8. It's time to launch your business. It's time to go live. We can't wait. We got to take action. And your launch strategy will depend on your business model. But the key is to just start generating traction as soon as possible. Whether it's launching the website, whether it's offering the service, whether it's releasing the product to the public, move forward and open your business. I see too many entrepreneurs that get analysis paralysis after they've already figured out all the steps needed to get started. You see, you need to engage your early customers right away. Try a special offer, free trial, behind the scenes update, but collect feedback from them immediately. So that way you can start refining your offer and improve your customer experience and create momentum that sets you up for growth. Step number 9 is to maintain accurate books. Accurate books is a must. Accounting is critical to success of your business. So you're going to track every expense. You're going to track all your revenue sources meticulously. This will include any reoccurring bills that you may have or one-time purchases, and also tracking refunds and client payment plans. Good bookkeeping keeps you compliant with tax laws. It helps you understand profitability and forecasting so you can make smarter decisions based on real numbers rather than guessing. I recommend tools like QuickBooks or Xero that automate expense tracking or even invoice management. Now, as your business grows, a part-time bookkeeper or an accountant can save you a significant amount of time and help ensure accuracy. Accurate books also make it easier to secure financing. It'll make it easier to attract investors and plan for growth, and also easier to evaluate the ROI of a marketing campaign or product launch. The clearer your financial picture, the more control you have over your business's future, and the more confidently you can scale. Step number 10, grow your online presence. In today's world, your online presence is your storefront. It's your reputation. It's also your brand ambassador, all in one. So please invest in a professional website that clearly communicates your value proposition, your services, and what your brand represents. But don't stop there. Social media accounts are the future. These are essential for engaging directly with your audience in today's day and age. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter allow you to connect with potential customers, and it demonstrates your expertise and it humanizes your brand. Please share a mix of educational content, some behind the scenes insights, some customer success stories, and products or service demonstrations to provide value and build trust with your audience. I constantly post on social media, including this very YouTube channel, all the time, because the bigger you can grow your audience, the more people can hear your message and discover your brand. You shouldn't feel bad about that. That is a good thing for your business. Don't underestimate the power of social media. Consistency is key. Actively post, respond to the comments, respond to the messages, and participate in conversations to cultivate a loyal online community. Social media also gives you insights into what your audience wants, which can inform future offerings and campaigns. And over time, a strong online presence starts to create multiple channels for organic lead generation. It also helps you build credibility in your niche, and it can position your business as a go-to authority. Combine that with a polished website, and this strategy maximizes visibility and it sets the stage for sustainable growth. Now you're ready for step number 11. Let's scale and spend some money on some ads. Once you have a proven strategy or a proven offer and you've engaged clients and you've gotten feedback, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, LinkedIn, they'll allow you to target your ideal customer with precision filtering by demographic, interests, behaviors, location, and paid ads amplify what you're already doing organically. It's bringing in leads faster for you, it's expanding your reach beyond your current followers, and it allows for you to do smart, small tests of ad creative with copy and audiences to track every metric. You can click through the rates, the conversions, the ROI, and at my company, we're constantly creating new ad creatives and testing them to see which ones work best. Trust me, getting the right ads in place can be one of the most powerful things that you can do to scale your business. It's been extremely beneficial for my company, and I highly recommend anybody that's looking to scale their company that they focus on getting on ads. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to run the ads yourself. You can hire specialists to do it for you, which is exactly what I do. So don't get intimidated by the process of setting up and managing paid ads yourself. There are people who can help you with this. You can also use retargeting strategies to reach people who have interacted with your website or social media account, but also haven't purchased it yet. So advertising isn't only about spending money, it's about investing strategically in growth. And once you identify what works, scale those campaigns to the moon. Increase your revenue predictability. And with a combination of great paid advertising and a strong organic presence, you're creating a multi-channel marketing machine that drives consistent traffic, builds brand awareness, and accelerates business growth. That's how I did it. All right, step number 12 is switching to an S corporation. I'm talking to business owners, and once your business is generating at least 50 grand, why would I want you to still be in an LLC if it doesn't make sense for you financially anymore? It's worth considering switching to an S-Corp. This business structure can provide significant tax advantages compared to the standard LLC or sole proprietorship. So by electing S corporation status, you can pay yourself a reasonable salary while still taking some of your profits as distributions, which, by the way, are not subject to self-employment tax. This reduces your overall tax burden and helps you keep more of the money that your business earns. So making the switch to an S-Corp might be something your CPA has not recommended. It's okay. Karlton's recommending it, and your credibility to your business may open doors to additional financial opportunities, plus attract tax savings by you making the switch. However, it does come with some additional responsibilities, including payroll processing, maintaining proper documentation, and filing some specific tax forms. Now, consulting with a qualified tax advisor can ensure that you're making the switch at the right time and it's structured correctly to maximize the benefits while staying compliant with all regulations. Now, step number 13 is hire the right employees and get the right contractors on your team. As your business grows, you're gonna need help. Getting the right people on your ship is mandatory. And employees or contractors, it doesn't matter. You need critical people helping you maintain the quality and standards that you wish to have for your product or service. So looking for individuals who complement your skills, who share your values, who can take ownership over their role. Man, the right team members will not only execute tasks effectively, but they also contribute ideas and provide solutions that push your business forward. Your team should free you up to focus on high-value activities rather than micromanaging daily tasks. So when hiring, consider both skills and culture fit. Someone with the right attitude but slightly less experience can often outperform a highly skilled worker who doesn't align with your vision. Now, clearly define roles, clearly define expectations, and performance metrics. Set those from the beginning and ensure accountability. Investing the time up front in recruiting and onboarding the right people saves headaches later and lays the foundation for long-term growth and a thriving company culture. This is the work you have to do as a founder. Step number 14 is implement advanced tax strategies. Once your business is generating consistent income, it's time to optimize your tax strategies. A good tax strategist can help you structure your business, leverage deductions, and explore advanced tax strategies like retirement plans, setting up LLCs, S-Corps. But strategic tax planning can save you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars or more, because it's one of the biggest advantages entrepreneurs have once they become really profitable to save more money. The key is to think beyond standard deductions and consider strategies that reduce your taxable income while building wealth simultaneously. This is gonna exist outside of just a 401k or optimizing for QBI. Now, one advanced strategy is the short-term rentals. I know you guys are familiar with it. So if you're running the short-term rental, your tenants can stay in the property 7 days or less on average. If you meet this criteria, plus you manage the property for 100 hours or more than any other person in the year, you have an Airbnb that's considered an active Airbnb, an active VRBO, which means that when you generate losses from doing a cost segregation study, you can accelerate depreciation to offset your active W-2, your active 1099 income. This can reduce your overall taxable income while still creating cash flow for you. Now, another phenomenal tool is the cash balance retirement plan. Unlike traditional 401ks that kind of cap you at like $24,000 a year, cash balance retirement plan has a very high limit. We've seen taxpayers put anywhere from $100K upwards to $300,000 or more into their cash balance retirement plan. Now, this is ideal for business owners who want to maximize retirement contributions and reduce their taxable income simultaneously. It is particularly useful for high income earning entrepreneurs who are, I would say, in their mid 40s to mid 50s. Finally, the Augusta Rule. The Augusta Rule is code section 280AG. This is a lesser known strategy, but it allows business owners to rent their personal residence up to 14 days, completely tax-free. Now, if you rent your home to your business, the business can pay fair market rent, which is deductible as a business expense, while the income you receive personally is not taxed. So this is how business owners are able to take advantage of this rule. It's a creative way to legally shift income from your business to your personal while taking advantage of your own assets. Now, there must be a legitimate business purpose to justify renting your home to your business through this strategy, such as hosting a legitimate business mastermind, having business events at your house. And by combining these strategies together or using them selectively based on your goals, you can optimize your tax situation and build wealth while still reinvesting more and more into your business. You see, advanced tax planning like this is what separates successful entrepreneurs from those who just work harder for their money. I have personally used a wide variety of advanced tax strategies, such as the ones that I've shared here with you guys on today's video: real estate, oil and gas, you name it. My wife qualifies as a real estate professional. We've invested in movie films. I have a private family foundation. There are a few things that can help entrepreneurs even more than what I've shared so far. All right, guys, step number 15 is to double down on what's already working. Track metrics, analyze results, identify what's driving the revenue and growth. This isn't rocket science. This isn't just about looking at sales numbers. It's about understanding your customer behavior, understanding engagement, and the specific activities that bring the highest returns on investment. Double down on strategies, products, or services that perform the best, whether that's a marketing channel or a particular product line, or a content strategy that is consistently converting for you. Simultaneously, please stop wasting time on activities that don't generate real results. Business is about leverage. You have to focus on multiplying what works and cut out what doesn't. By reallocating time and energy and resources towards proven winners, you maximize efficiency and you reduce wasted effort, and you create a scalable, repeatable growth engine that drives sustainable long-term success. Learn from both your successes and your fails. Every entrepreneur faces challenges, setbacks, and unexpected twists along the way. Success is rarely linear. It often comes from persistence, experimentation, and reflection. Take time to analyze your wins, your losses. Identify what specifically led to your success that happened. Was it the timing? Was it the strategy? How did you replicate it? How can you replicate it? Don't move on. Don't just move on from the success. Ask yourself, what went right? What went wrong? How can you adjust for next time? The more you learn from your experiences, the stronger and smarter your business becomes. You have to remember, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone that teaches resilience, it sharpens decision making, and it often points you towards opportunities you would have never thus discovered yourself. Now, last but not least, and the bonus, is to enjoy life. You're an entrepreneur, and if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to remember why you started. Entrepreneurship isn't just about money, it's about freedom and creativity and building a life on your own terms. That's why I like being an entrepreneur. I want to celebrate milestones, I want to take breaks, and I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Why? Because we've earned it. The journey is tough, but the payoff, both financially and personally, is worth every step. Becoming an entrepreneur is a process, and it combines vision, it combines preparation, execution, and constant learning. If you follow these 3 steps methodically, you're giving yourself the best chance of building a business that not only thrives financially, but also provides freedom, satisfaction, and long-term wealth. That's all I got for today's video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, remember, if you're a high-income earning professional and you need any help on cutting your tax bill by 50 to 100% with advanced tax strategy, be sure to book a call with my team by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.